Hi there, my name is Joshua Wayne Moore, joined by Pedro da Silva as the cameraman and audio technician, and I will later be joined by Grace Perry for our great topic of discussion today called Medical End-of-Life Decisions and the Future of Medical Technology. So we're going to discuss the future and current possibilities in life extension and decreasing the effects of aging and medical technology advances and ethical questions accompanying them. So, humans are living longer than ever before. This can be largely attributed to a great deal of medical advancements we have made over the years. Nabi Tajima is the oldest person currently alive. She was born in 1900 and she'll turn 118 in August. But does living longer come with its downsides? An unforeseen consequence is that we end up spending a larger portion of our lives being sick and weak. To avoid this, we've been looking into prolonging our health span, and not just our lifespan. Such medical advancements will benefit the people who are alive today, which can be pretty exciting for all of us who are alive right now. So here's our first question of our topic. How are modern medical advances prolonging the average lifespan? Current science is still not entirely sure why we age, but that doesn't stop us from trying to slow it down. The cells in our bodies are constantly dividing, creating more and more every second as old ones die off. But that doesn't mean we can regenerate our bodies forever. Because of the way cellular division works, every time our cells divide, we lose a little bit of DNA off the end of our chromosomes. This is where telomeres come into play. They protect from this natural degeneration, but they shrink with every division. When the telomeres are completely depleted, the cell may become a senescent cell. Senescent cells accumulate in our bodies. The older we get, the more of them we have. Chronic senescent cells have proven to be harmful and are linked to renal dysfunction. Research in eliminating senescent cells has been extensive and largely done on mice, but the results are very promising. Treatments involving the removal of these cells help age-related diseases and have even showed to ensure success on kidney transplantations. We see a lot of potential in cellular senescence treatments, and it's a similar case with stem cell treatments. What we can learn from all this is that there are maybe many ways to help slow down aging, and the more we learn, the better chance we have at increasing our health span. Question number 2 of our topic. What are the motivations behind creating life-extending technology? When asked if you are ready to die, will your answer ever be yes? The truth is, death isn't desirable to anyone. Some may think that after a life fully lived, there will come a time when death won't seem so terrible. Regardless, death is approaching everyone. Our days are, in fact, numbered. But what if we had a say in that? What if I told you that we already do? If you think about it, all medical treatments and procedures are all working towards one goal: prolonging the inevitable death itself. Yay! We may not always be conscious of it, but life is a natural human desire, and modern medical advances are becoming better and better, helping us achieve that very goal. Question number 3. What complications arise when using life-extending technology? New technologies always come with their complications. When talking about life-extending technologies, the possibilities are endless. Major ethical questions are raised. Is it right to cheat death? Should we even consider going down this rabbit hole? And some may raise the question of how these advances will impact overpopulation. Grace will talk more in depth on these subjects later on in the video. One complication that may arise is related to social disparity. In the past, when innovative technologies were made, they sometimes were limited to the top 1% and not distributed amongst the general population. If this is the case when it comes to life-extending technologies, it could mean that the most powerful have control over how long people's lives are, which could be catastrophic and reflect the realities that we see in dystopian tales. Significantly longer lives are not too far into the future. We may see the effects of these advancements in our lifetime. This means that we must discuss these complications now and be ready for what the future holds. Switch over to Grace Perry. Excuse me.
So, what are some difficult ethical questions regarding life-extending technology? first is, should we try to halt aging or eradicate death? So we can't really end aging altogether, so any attempt would really be an attempt to slow aging or delay death. Some people would see this as playing God, but in reality, this is what every medical technological advance does. It improves and prolongs human life. So if it's unethical to try to minimize aging effects and prolong death, then it would be unethical to give vaccines or antibiotics. Would you let your child die because they caught the flu? No, of course you would take them to the doctor to get medicine. We take preventative and reparative measures to keep ourselves alive and healthy. And it's the same idea with trying to extend life. So if life-extending technology develops to the point where humans could end death, we wouldn't really think it'd be ethical from a Christian perspective, just because it would be contesting God's sovereignty. However, Genesis 6:3 does say that God will not contend with the spirit of man for more than 120 years. So theoretically, even if we were able to, we might drop dead after 120 years. We don't know. In regards to aging, if we could end external aging, we would appear younger, and our bodies would eventually give out internally and we'd still die. But we just look younger, look better, you know. So there's nothing ethically wrong with wanting to look young, because everyone does or will at some point want to look young. We find no ethical problems with striving to look younger or live longer. So also, is it ethical to test ways to slow aging or delay death on humans? Trials have already been done on mice and other animals in attempts to kill senescent cells. The results from this research have been successful. The animals look younger and live longer. As with any experiment, we don't know if we will get the same results in human as in animal tests. So we don't know if it's safe for humans. Is it safe for us to test radioactive drugs on humans? Obviously not. However, we don't know what the various attempts to extend life will come from, so we don't know if it's necessarily safe for humans. So back to the question, is it ethical? It's only ethical if the subjects are not given a treatment known to harm them. They are given all the information the researchers have before any treatment or process is done, and they've given consent.
All right, so next we're going to talk about some new medical breakthroughs in treating illnesses, conditions, and disabilities. One of the first treatments that I saw were prosthetics. According to the Orthotics and Prosthetics Careers, prosthetics is the evaluation, fabrication, and custom fitting of artificial limbs. Did you know that about 1 in 190 Americans live right now with a loss of a limb? Historically, when someone had an injury on a ligament, a muscle, or a loss of a limb, surgical treatment would include a synthetic augmentation and reconstruction using either biological tissue grafts or prosthetic ligaments. But those methods have evolved over the years, and now newer, lighter weight prosthetic limbs include carbon fiber plating for extra sturdiness and sensors for the brain waves to receive signals. Advancements in prosthetics have also brought about robots in the surgery room. Instead of working by their own hands, doctors now have the power to use computer consoles to move multiple robotic arms on the patient's body. Sounds kind of cool. These methods are far safer for tumor removal. The advantages of robotic surgery are less blood loss, more precision, smaller incisions, and quicker recovery time. Now, a big medical advancement as of right now is CRISPR. So CRISPR, also known as clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats, and CRISPR-associated genes are essential in adaptive immunity in bacteria. So it's causing the gene to select harmful sequences and eliminate or replace them. One CRISPR-associated protein, simply known as Cas9, is a key player in editing the genome. CRISPR methods have been used to find certain DNA sequences, cut them out, and replace them with better genes. If science continues to advance in CRISPR studies, we will soon be able to cure cancer or HIV in a single treatment and create our own babies based on the genes we want them to have. Another question I have is, how will new medical technologies change the prognosis of patients? So I did a little research on doctor-patient history in order to dig deep into this question. Doctor-patient relations have changed over the past millennium. Ancient Egypt established a paternalistic relationship between the doctor and patient. causing the doctor to have more power in the relations. But whenever the Hippocratic Oath was established, it established a code of ethics for doctors and patients, causing a balance to ensue between the two of them. As that was established and time continued, doctors began to try to understand patients, their ailments, and the psychology behind illnesses as well. Present-day relations cause both sides to be more cooperative, and I can only see more advanced technology bringing a greater balance to both of them as well. Doctors will realize patients' problems on the genetic level, allowing both sides to receive diagnosis quickly and treatments even faster. Now, my last question is, how might cultural norms change as a result of these new medical technologies? New technologies are constantly being researched and injected into our society. Old methods have been revamped and sometimes replaced with more convenient and economically efficient procedures, such as bloodletting. Leeches and bloodletting were horrid methods which gradually declined in the 19th century and replaced with modern medicine, anesthetics, and different things such as that in order to give our economy and medical research a boost. Back to you, Grace, with whatever you're going to talk about next.
Pedro,
I'm going to talk about the dangers in the technologies we have discussed. So one of the main dangers would be the side effects. Any treatments or drugs administered could have dangerous side effects, just like any medicines or procedures done now. Medicines can cause nausea or thinner blood, and cancer treatments can cause weight loss or gain and failures of bodily systems. Anything like this is possible with longevity experimentation. Theoretically, if we could extend the lifespan indefinitely, or at least for decades or centuries, what would be the effect on society? This could lead to overpopulation, as we've mentioned before. Overpopulation comes with its own obvious problems, including food scarcity, pollution, and resource overconsumption. Another possible problem is seen in the dystopian novel The Declaration. In this, the world has figured out a way to delay death indefinitely, and as a result, they have reached carrying capacity for the world. At the age of 18, everyone is given the option to either get the life extension technology or have children to replace them when they eventually die. Whenever those who choose the life extension technology have children, their children are taken away from them and made slaves. Obviously, slavery is unethical, and thus, if overpopulation became so widespread that something like this came about, the ethical problem would find its root in the life-extending technology. And those are the main dangers associated with this technology.
what should be our conclusion? Should that just be our
So that ends our discussion today of medical end-of-life decisions. I hope that we answered all the questions as thoroughly as possible for you guys. Check out all these sources that we had in this video right now, what all we talked about. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Stay classy. And now we'll take any questions that you may have for us. Thank you.